Now let's understand what is a steel building. Importance of steel building. Why are steel buildings important as compared to RCC building, or what is the basic difference between them? As everyone of us know, steel is a structural member. It has some structural strength. That is why it can be used to build any kind of structural systems like steel buildings. It has some exceptional strength, and when we have proper coating over it, then it can also be fire resistant. Next importance of the steel building is due to its versatility. Because of steel, we can customize it. Compared, if we compare the steel building to an RCC building, it is very difficult to have a customization in an RCC building once when it is constructed, because concrete is not easily, we cannot modify things in it. But when we compare a steel building, when we construct a steel building, and in a later on stage when we want to have any kind of motivation, it is possible. That is one of the advantage of steel. Of course, these all the members like columns, beams, these are prefabricated in a warehouse and they are transported to the construction site where they are quickly assembled. This will also be cost effective and it could speed the construction speed compared to an RCC building. And steel is a durable material, and that is why we can have a long lifespan of a structure. Some of the advantages is strength to weight ratio. Okay, so I think some of the, I will mute all of them. So if anyone wants to ask any question, you can just type in the comment box. Later we will answer them because it's disturbing while we'll having this session. Okay, so one of the basic advantage of steel building is the strength to weight ratio. Comparing it with an RCC column, a steel column is less in size, and also it has more advantage over weight. So when we compare the ratio of strength to weight, steel is on a better side. Next, we have design flexibility. As we have already discussed, it is possible to have flexibility in design in case of a steel building, because you just have to weld or bolt any kind of additional members to it. Comparing it with to a RCC building, it is not easily possible to have changes in it. Next is sustainability. As steel is a recyclable material, when you want to recycle it, it is easier compared to the RCC concrete thing. Because once we cast a concrete, and if you want to demolish it, you cannot use the same RCC again. But in case of steel, it is possible that you can recycle the steel and use it next time. So it's a eco-friendly thing. Cost effective. Generally, we cannot say that steel buildings are cost effective. Of course, they are higher, they are costlier compared to an RCC building in the initial stage, but it depends on project to project. If we have a proper engineering, then in that case, initially the investment could be more, but in the long term, sometimes a steel building could be advantageous compared to the RCC building if we compare all other factors which are included in this. Next is the energy efficiency. As it is a recyclable material, we have efficiency in the energy and it is good for the environment. We have minimum maintenance in steel structures. One of the most important problem with a steel building is regarding rusting. And nowadays we have certain kind of chemicals which when we apply it to a steel building, it becomes rust proof. So this problem can also be solved and it requires minimum maintenance. And as it is flexible that, and it is easier to have expansion of a steel building, and if you want to have any kind of modification, it is easier. As all the things related to steel building, whether it be a column, primary beam, secondary beam, these all are fabricated in a workshop, and then they are transported to our site where we can erect it quickly. So this is faster compared to a RCC building, and also we can have cost benefits. So, Okay, so these were some of the advantages. I will show you some of the pictures so that you can understand how a steel building looks, because in India we do not have much structure with steel buildings, but this will give you a rough idea. Here you can see a steel bungalow. A basic frame of the structure is made out of steel. Of course, the walls and the slabs, they are made of concrete or bricks, but the basic structural thing, that is made of steel. Here you can see the basic framing of steel at one side, and at the other side you can see the complete house when it is ready. Now I would like to show you one video where this is an existing warehouse and they are trying to prepare a mezzanine, that is an additional floor in the existing warehouse. And you can see they have marked the location of these columns. Now they are erecting these columns easily. Once these columns are all erected, the next step is to assemble the primary beam. The primary beam is a beam which is connecting between two columns. You can see now all the primary beams are being erected so that this forms a frame-like structure. A column and the beam form a proper frame. Next, they have assembled the secondary beam over the primary beams. So these secondary beams are supported to primary beams at their ends. And we have some bracings. The last step is to have the slab. They are placing these sheets which will act as a support for the concrete slab, they will cast later. Once they fix this sheet to the secondary and primary beams, now they are concreting it. So with the help of these columns, primary beams, secondary beams, and sheet, they were able to create an additional floor in the existing steel warehouse. So this is easily possible in case of a steel building. Of course, it can also be done in case of RCC building, but that becomes a little complicated. But in case of steel building, it is much simpler and easier to adapt.
Welcome you all in ISO certified live training program ETABS, RCDC and Excel that makes you a professional structural engineer. In this training program you will learn everything about ETABS and RCDC from basic to advanced, real life project of medium rise structure from architecture plan to final design sheet, real life project of high rise structure with all advanced topics, design of structural elements using advanced Excel sheets. Have a look over the features of this training. Daily live classes conducted by expert for 1.5 hours. Recording of every session with lifetime access. Can interact with expert anytime, 24/7. Exposure to real practice. ISO certification of training completion. It's 5-star rated training program. Till now more than 1,000 participants have benefited from this training program. Now you are the next. Hello everyone, welcome you all in a new ISO certified live training program, design of substructure using CSI Safe, Excel and manual. In this training program you will learn all about the concept of substructure design, commands in CSI Safe software for the substructure design, validation of CSI Safe result with your manual and advanced Excel sheets. This training program will cover 4 real life projects. In the first and second we will cover all the types of isolated foundation in CSI Safe software. In the third real life project we will cover the raft foundation, and in the fourth real life project there will be the coverage of pile and pile cap design of basement wall, and at the end of this training program you will learn how to prepare the final design sheet for the site execution. Have a look over the features of this training. Daily live classes conducted by expert. Recording of every session. Can interact with expert anytime. Exposure to real practice. ISO certification of training. It's 5-star rated training program. Till now more than 1,000 participants have benefited from this training program. Now you are the next.